My name is Cay Jennings. Most people call me Cay. My name is Catherine with a C, so I spell Cay with a C, so I'm C-A-Y, which is a little unusual. And I was born in 1920, which makes me, if you do the math, 93 now. And still in good health, fortunately, and enjoying life, doing a lot of traveling. And so I still go to Muskoka with some part of the family every year. I haven't missed a year in Muskoka in all my life. There was a big hotel called Big One Inn, and we used to like to go up there to the dances, and my cousin Ann and I, our project for the summer was to make an evening dress, because everybody wore long dresses in those days, and the men were in white flannels and blazers. And we would make our evening dresses, and then we would hope that the boys that we knew in the neighborhood would ask us, and of course they did. And we'd go up in what they called a putt-putt. It was just a little motorboat, really. And eventually got to be bigger boats and so on, but we'd go up to Big One, and it took us, probably 3/4 of an hour to get there. It was quite a way. So we'd go up to the dances and then come home again, and it was all very romantic, especially if there was a full moon. They had different orchestras. They brought up some orchestras from Toronto. One of them was Bob Shuttleworth, which was a very good, well-known band in Toronto. We didn't pay. We just went to the dance, and the dance was over the big boathouse at Big One. It was a big round. I mean, if you see a picture of Big One Inn, you see this big, huge, round boathouse, and above it was the dance hall. There was a polio outbreak in Toronto, and so Mother said, well, we're not going back to Toronto till things are better. So I went to the local school in Baysville. Now that was, I'm trying to think, it would be, I suppose, close to a couple of miles away. But I walked in, no other way of getting there. But then when I got up to I walked up the road from our place, but then it came sort of the main country road, and when I got up there was a chap who, a young boy, who went to the school too, and he rode his horse to school. And I got to know Clifford quite well, and Clifford I would meet him at the top of the road, and he'd put me on the horse, and the two of us would go to school. You can imagine it. I mean, it just blows my mind when I think of it now. But two of us sitting on a horse, and I don't know whether I don't think there was a saddle. I think we just sat on a blanket. I mean, you know, it was pretty basic. And it was an old nag that I had, farm horse. We had to go into Baysville to get the mail. And at the post office, Carl Campbell was the postmaster for years. And we'd go in and pick up the mail, and if it wasn't delivered. But we did have a supply boat. The supply boat would go around to different houses, and you could buy food and things, certain things from it. It was pretty basic, but now it didn't come into our place, but it would go to my grandparents, and then all our family would go there to get their goods. As I was saying, I mean, we didn't have hydro, so everything we kept in a refrigerator, in an ice box. And it was my job to get the ice. We had an ice house, and the ice was caught on the river or lake in the wintertime, and brought into our ice house and all packed in sawdust. So I had to get when Daddy wasn't there, and he was only there weekends, I would get the ice out, and I had to climb up to get up to where the ice was, then shovel around through the sawdust to find a cake of ice, get it out, got it down to the ground somehow or other, I don't know how I did, and get it we had a little back stoop and a hose to hose the sawdust off, and then put it in the ice box, not a refrigerator, an ice box. I did that all the time. My sister was up the cottage a lot, but she apparently had a heart murmur, so she wasn't allowed to do that. So I got all the Joe jobs. I was healthy.